Okay, so the first question is just to tell us about the FIRST Robotics competition. What is it and what is the goal?
So FIRST Robotics is essentially gamified robotics. So each year you're given a task you have to complete, and you have to. So for this year, like the robot we showed you, it was this game was called Deep Space, and we were trying to fill in this. Like we showed you a game piece, we were trying to fill in balls and hatches into these pieces, and so that was the task this year. It changes each year, and you're supposed to build a robot each year to complete that task, and you compete in teams to try and win the task, and whoever does the task better essentially wins and goes on further. So how it works, how the build season works is you have it starts during January, and you have about 9 weeks to build the whole robot. You'll get the task at the start of January, and then you have 9 weeks to build the robot, and then the competition starts. So it's like any other competition. You participate at regionals, and then if you advance from regionals, you go to state. And if you advance to state, you go to Worlds, and Worlds is the final one too. We're a rookie team right now, so we're trying to at least advance. We're trying to do stuff and advance to state at least, yeah.
Nice. So basically, you'll find out in early January what the challenge is, and then you'll only have 9 weeks to figure out how to build it, actually build it, and try and get it to work.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wow. Okay, and how did you guys get your team started? Who started it? You know, how did you kind of get more kids involved?
So me, Ishan, and Anikate, we'd actually been on another team before, but for various reasons, we just decided to start our own team. So we basically talked to a lot of people around our school to recruit members, and we just asked people who was interested. And once we found out who was interested, we started having like our first meetings and figuring out like who actually wanted to be in the team. And then once we had like a base of like a few members, we started recruiting like members from outside of our school. So we sent out like emails and had like posters and stuff.
So now, are there multiple teams at your school, or were the team that you guys used to be on from another school?
We're not really affiliated with our school, just because the way our district's set up, if one robotics team exists that's sponsored by the school, every school has to have one, and like that's just not viable with how large scale FIRST is. So we're actually a community team that draws from every school in our district.
Cool, cool. Okay, and what are the roles of each team member? I don't know if you just want to talk about those of you that are here today, or you want to talk about a little bit of the responsibilities each one has.
So in FIRST, there are 3 sub-teams. The mechanical team, the electrical team, the programming team, and the business team are the 4 main sub-teams in FIRST Robotics. I'm team captain.
I'm one of the business leads. The person who was emailing you was Ramek. He's the other business lead. Essentially what business does is we're the people that have to like get sponsors to help finance the robot and pay for registration for competitions. So essentially we like try and contact people to like try and find like build spaces and sponsors to donate for a robot. It's people like you, so thank you for that. Yeah.
I'm the mechanical lead, and so me and the mechanical team are responsible for designing the robot. And this year we used a 3D CADing software called Fusion 360. And once we design the robot, then obviously we're also responsible for building it. And yeah.
I'm lieutenant captain of the team. I guess I work with Anikate to like kind of or help make sure all the teams are coordinated and organized. And we also work on like every team. Like I work a lot in the electrical team. And I kind of, since I have prior experience, I help other people since electrical is kind of, it requires a bit of a learning curve. And that's what I do.
And I'm not team captain, but I work with the mechanical and electrical team. And we have our programming team captain, Sujay, and Jonathan Munoz as our electrical team captain. Both of them weren't able to make it, but they're really great people to work with, so.
Sounds like you guys all get along very well and like know whose strengths you can rely on in certain things, and that's so important for a big team like yours, it sounds like.